After a wild time in Croatia enjoying the World Cup finals, we got onto the Danube and had crossed into Serbia.
We're stuffed with great food though, it's good.
The plan was to roughly follow the Danube River into Romania, so it would take us only a few days to really cross the country. With that in mind, we decided to book a couple of nights in a hostel in Novi Sad and then 3 nights in Belgrade to get some proper chill time and experience a bit more of Serbia before we raced our way across it. It was a pretty short ride from the borders to Novi Sad. There's a bit more of an immediate change to the vibe because of the Cyrillic alphabet, but it felt really good to be in a new country. On the road in, a nice cyclist rocked up alongside us and rode with us into the city. He even dropped us off at the hostel doorstep, which was really class. We dumped our stuff, gave the hostel our laundry, which is a real bonus after mainly hand washing for the last few months, and then set out to explore the city. If you thought I didn't know anything about Croatia, well, haha, here I am, with zero information about Serbia either. We'd learned bits and bobs, but to be honest, a lot of that info was pretty negative, especially when it came from neighbouring countries. If you took everything they said to be as true, then you'd be preparing yourself to get 100% murdered with pretty much any interaction you have with the people. Of course, this is total nonsense. Serbian people were nothing but nice to us and welcoming. Novi Sad is also a really class city with great coffee, food, places to chill and visit as well. We spent the next day and a half walking about and just trying to relax. It was pretty hot and we did a bit too much walking for my liking, but I really enjoyed wandering about the city. At one point this guy was drinking from a fountain nearby and he immediately puked like 10 seconds later, and that made me laugh a lot, and it still does, to be honest. No. How's it going, Lily?
It's going great. No, I will not speak up. We're in Novi Sad. It's very hot. We're stuffed with great food though. It's good. And we don't know how to take rest days.
We're gonna follow the Danube to Belgrade. And then we're gonna go to Romania.
Yeah, that's true.
Leaving the city, we attempted to follow the Eurovelo 6 route, but it was pretty badly signposted, so we just tried to join the river when we could and kept heading towards Belgrade. We ended up staying at a campsite about 20 kilometres from the city just because we'd ended up getting there pretty quickly. It was nice to relax and we just spent some time cleaning our bikes and drinking some big beers. Getting into Belgrade was a total hassle like it is with most big cities, and I'm just going to say it, Belgrade is a bit of a shiter if you are looking for a well laid out city and a sort of homogenous look or vibe to it. It's a real mishmash of what I'd say is 70s block style, but I'm no architect, and so definitely don't take my word for it. It reminds me a bit of Bucharest, huge parts of what I would call Soviet style buildings mixed with some older parts, although I'd say Belgrade has even less of the old parts of the city left. Of course, it was bombed in 1999, so it's no real wonder that the city's a bit all over the place. It also gave me vibes of Glasgow with what feels like a big busy road or motorway going through the middle of the city, which is always pretty unwelcome, especially in Glasgow. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made that motorway in the city. We found our Airbnb and then dumped our bags in the apartment. The host then took us to an underground car park about 10 minutes away, where he asked the security guard to watch our bike for a few days. Which, reflecting on it now, seems completely mental to have done that, but it was actually fine and I don't think I was even too stressed about it at the time, which is quite surprising thinking about it now. For my less than glorious appraisal of the city architecture, it does have a lot of great things going on, so I would definitely recommend visiting it even if I don't think it looks that nice. It has excellent food, although particularly heavy on the meat side. Great coffee, probably the best beer we had in the whole trip as well. We went to this place Samo Pivo twice and it was such a great treat to have very, very tasty craft beer. Also, Belgrade is class because of the abundance of pizza slice joints all over the place, if that's your thing, and it's definitely my thing, so I loved it. We spent those few days just cutting about, drinking beer, eating and chilling. We picked up some great food at the local market as well, and Lily learned how to count in Serbian, which she was very, very proud of.
It's great. I love scrambled eggs. It's great.
We visited the big Orthodox church, St. Sava, which is pretty cool. It was under some construction at the time, but we got to visit the underground bling zone, which is quite the spectacle. I did get a bit freaked out that everyone was kissing pictures of saints, and I thought it was a bit gross, even pre-COVID times. I'm always happy to see big beautiful buildings getting made in countries. I've got a real thing about ruins which just drives me nuts, which I'm sure I'll dedicate a very large part of the Athens videos when I eventually get to it in this series.
This is to Belgrade, what St. Peter's Church is to Vatican. That was right.
After a good chunk of time in the city, we were ready to go to Romania. We set out cycling into the hills and a van man pulled us over to interrogate us a bit about our trip, and he kept pointing to the city and just saying NATO, bomb, which was pretty intense, and I was just happy that we weren't Americans. We set off whizzing our way back towards the Danube, and another guy pulled me over, and instead of a history lesson he just gave me some spaghetti, which was super kind and kind of weird, but I do love these wee special moments you sometimes get on the road. We got to the camp, which wasn't too far from the border. It had super duper hippie vibes, and when we entered the campsite, the owners immediately planted a couple of corn on the cobs in our hands, which was great, if a little bit awkward to cycle into the camp with. We were only in Serbia for about a week, and most of that time was spent not actually cycling. I've heard brilliant things about the south and the more mountainous areas for bike adventuring, and I hope that we get to make it there one day. Thinking back, this was roughly a midpoint in the trip for us, so it makes sense that we took so much time to not actually cycle. I love life on the road, but it was good for us to take a bit of a break before spending about a month in Romania, travelling across the mountains and making it to the Black Sea. Thank you so much for watching. If you've had any great experiences cycling in Serbia, please leave me a comment below. And if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you subscribe to get your weekly fix of cycling adventures in Europe.